Hello, I'm Scott from vrchewal, and this is a walkthrough of the measurements tool for Unity available on the Unity Asset Store. You can find more info on this tool on vrchewal.com and the Unity Asset Store product page. Links are available in the description below. Okay, so measurements is a tool for Unity that allows you to get real-time data on an object's dimensions, such as its width, height, and depth, based on the mesh itself or its collider. You can also get distance info between two objects. This gives you the distance between the centers of the two objects as well as their closest edges. You can get all of this data in centimeters, meters, kilometers, yards, inches, feet, and even miles. There are many uses for this kind of tool, from simply knowing the size of your objects in whatever unit of measurement you like to real-time in-game behaviors. For example, you might want to arm a proximity mine based on how close the player is to the mine or the exact edge-to-edge distance for a rangefinder on a gun. Or even how close the player is to a set of lights, as we see here. Now that you know what measurements is, let's see how it works. To get started, once you've downloaded measurements from the Asset Store, open up the first demo. This is a very basic scene with some cubes and a ball that moves around randomly. Each object has a measurement script attached, showing the various options. When you first attach measurements to an object, it looks a lot like the setup on Cube 1. It gives us the dimensions of the object in meters and uses the mesh renderer as the measurement source. We can change this to our specific needs. If the object does not have the source you want, it will give you an error in the inspector, but will not crash your game. Switching to Cube 2, we see what happens when you set a distance object. It is giving us the distance between those objects, both from their centers and their closest edges. This allows us to know both the Unity calculated distance that you may be familiar with using vector3.distance, as well as the true distance of the space between the objects as calculated by their edges. Looking at Cube 4, we can see this works with colliders as well. If we set the measurement source to collider and adjust the size of the cube's collider, the distance to the sphere is updated. This has countless applications where Unity's basic distance checks just don't give you enough. This is simple and powerful enough in Editor, but you can also use it at runtime as well. Opening up the API example, I pull real-time data from measurement scripts and output it to the screen. Obviously, you could use this information to track objects in your game, to initiate events, or whatever you can imagine. You can review all of the API options in the documentation, which I will show you in a bit. Let's hit play and see this in action. As the sphere moves, we see it in relation to Cube 4. Changing the measurement source to collider gives us very different results. Alright, on to the documentation. Here we see a full list of API functions and other troubleshooting topics. I highly recommend reviewing this when coding your own scripts. If you want more information on measurements, you can go to vrchewal.com, find it in the Unity section, and jump from here to anything you need. There are links available for the online documentation, the Unity forum, and the Asset Store. If you'd like to see more features added or run into any issues, please reach out. Thank you for watching and let us know what you think.